Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rite-Way Detailing's YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. We got an awesome little episode for today's video. As I'm sure you saw by the title, we got a bad little CTSV, but she definitely needs help in the paint department, and that's what we're here to do today. And I think it's going to be extremely satisfying with some of the clips that we're going to try and get. This one, we're going to focus on some paint correction. That is it. We're just focusing in on, you know, some gloss black paint, trying to revitalize it. Now, this is not a crazy correction. We're actually giving this customer a really good deal for this particular package because we, you know, are going to do some future business with him, possibly wrap the car and, you know, some of his family members, friends, etc. He races all the time here locally in SoCal, so we want to help him out and take care of him and make his CTSV come back to life. Because a lot of people that have these vehicles, you know, really they race them and stuff, but they don't realize the potential and how much easier it is to clean them and how more beautiful they can look when they go to shows and things like that. So I'm going to show you guys that CTSV right now. So we'll get a pop, you know, we'll pop the hood and get a look in there. It's actually a really simple build, and I actually took the customer back home, and he said, hey, if you want to, you know, drive around the block, you know, around your neighborhood or, you know, outside on the streets, he's like, feel free. So I did. I took it for a ride. Now, did not, you know, floor it or anything. I just rolled into it in like third, probably like 80% throttle, and it is insane. This car makes, I think he said it was like 705 torque and like 700 flat horsepower. It is a really nice little setup. I think he said he was 689 at 106 or something like that, or 104, somewhere in there. But you can see she definitely needs help in the paint department. So when he goes to Irwindale, this thing will definitely be taken care of. And I don't know if this was like some wax or something has something's definitely dried on the paint everywhere, all around the edges and stuff. You know, maybe this thing was done in the shade, like a hand wax. You really don't want to do that to these beautiful cars. But not a lot of people do know that, especially the older guys that pick these things up and, you know, start tinkering with them. You know, the old school ways of waxing and stuff really just doesn't work anymore. It's not like a single stage paint where, you know, you can kind of buff the paint out by hand and make it look really shiny. You know, all these paints technically look shiny. It's really a matter of getting rid of all the swirl marks. That's what paint correction is, and that's what we're here to do today on this wicked little CTSV. It's got headers. I think it's got like Corsa Sport mufflers, or maybe even the stock ones. It sounds wicked. I mean, it sounds like clean at idle. You can't really tell. You can definitely hear a small cam in there. But I'm really excited because this is really what I would like to do to my CTSV, and after driving this thing, I'm pretty much hooked that we're gonna go ahead and get like a stage 2 cam and some headers and save up for that, do a lower pulley, because it's got upper, lower, ZL1 lid headers, some different stuff like that. But it's very simple. There's no crazy inner chiller or intercooler system. We have a lot more cooling things for my CTSV. So but we are definitely going to get this thing prepped and cleaned up, and then we are going to be doing a full wrap soon on this car, and I think this thing is going to look absolutely beautiful. It is a very nice car. It's got some carbon stuff and pretty clean, but the scratches are kind of ridiculous on this car. It's got a lot of paint defects, so we're going to pull an all-nighter and get this thing done for him because he's got a show. Luckily, we kind of had a little reschedule, so we were able to get this guy in. It's about 3 o'clock, so we got a lot of work ahead of us, though, because this thing is destroyed. It's not doing it justice right now, but it is pretty scratched up. So we're gonna get her all back to brand new. So let's go ahead and get a decon wash done on this thing, get it clayed, and start the paint correction. All right, so we sprayed the exterior and engine bay down with some all-purpose cleaner, you see there, and then rinsed that all off the wheels and tires, engine bay, exterior, and then sprayed it all the wheels, calipers, and everything down with some wheel brightener from Meguiar's. And now she is pretty much, you know, free of all the dirt and grime and stuff that's on the paint, you know, the majority of it. That way now when we go ahead and foam her up to lubricate the paint surface, we don't induce any more scratches. I mean, it's kind of hard to do that with this because it is extremely scratched, but you get the idea. So go ahead and foam her up. Poor girl hasn't seen this in a while, but that is okay. We're getting her brought back. That's what this is for. So we'll get it washed down with the mitts, rinse it, and then we will foam it back up. You'll see right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start washing it, so I'll show you washing it, and we've got to clean the wheels up too with some brushes. Got a majority of the crap off of all the wheels, but they're definitely tattered, so we need to clean them with some brushes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and clean the wheels first. So this thing is in the shade, luckily, even though it's summer. Not too bad outside. It's about 76. You can see all the dirt and grime start to come out of there. These really need to be taken off the car. I mean, we're not doing that kind of detail where it's not in for full Ceramic Pro package. You know, really what we're doing, we should be charging a little bit more, but like I said, I want to take care of this guy. You know, because a lot of guys have beautiful cars like this that race them and stuff. They just, you know, they don't see, you know, what it really means to get this thing like brought back to life. I mean, they just look so beautiful. You know, you can't just wash them off all the time. They need to be, you know, in my opinion, any car needs to be, you know, fully paint corrected and coated. Regardless that we do this for a living, I mean, it is a must. Seriously, you save money over time. And I try to stress that. I know people probably think, oh, you're just promoting your business. No, no. As a one car guy to another, you know, save yourself some money for some mods and stuff. Just spend, you know, if you buy one of these, like I know this guy bought it about a year ago, you know, first thing, buy it, take it to somebody like us, get it all buffed out, paint corrected, get a Ceramic Pro package put on. You know, our most popular package for a 1 to 2 step, this one, you know, would require a little bit more money, but 1 to 2 step correction and a Ceramic Pro Silver exterior package, 5-year warranty, runs about $1,500. So, you know, if you do this $350, you know, detail that we're going to do, which, like I said, is a steal for what we're going to do. We're, you know, definitely doing some more business with this gentleman, so we want to make sure we, you know, over deliver for him. I want to show him the value of getting some paint correction because I could tell he's new to it. You know, you do this $350 detail because we're putting sport on it every 6 months. Over 5 years, you do the math, it's about $3,500. So you can spend $1,500 and, you know, spend a little bit more up front, but save yourself, you know, more than double over the same course of time, you know, or you can just think that you're getting, you know, a good deal, 350 bucks, but, you know, in the end, it costs you more money. That's why, you know, I always make these videos and explain that, because, you know, a lot of people don't know that or understand that. I mean, it's very simple math. I'm no mathematician, but, you know, just take somebody telling you, like, hey, this is what it costs, and this is the warranty, and you go, oh, wait a second. So my guy that's, you know, giving me a, you know, halfway okay service, you know, is really actually doing me a disservice. You know, if he would just coat my vehicle one time and just show me how to maintain my vehicle, he'd actually be helping me. But not many detailers don't want you to know that. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean these other 2 wheels. I'm probably gonna foam this back up real quick because I know I'm blabbering. We'll foam it back up and wash it, and then we'll start, you know, doing the full decon with the clay. All right, got our Chemical Guys bucket, nice little grit guard in there, and our Chanel wash mitt. She's definitely rough, so, you know, there's never been a vehicle that we haven't clayed, but I'm just making that a huge point that it is always necessary to clay, even if your vehicle just got delivered off a truck or whatever. It always needs to be clayed, that is for sure. So we'll always start at the top, work our way down. Next step is going to be synthetic clay. I know this car is super happy. It has no idea, nor does the owner, of how transformed this is going to be. And you guys haven't even seen the true condition of the paint yet. It is one of the worst I've ever had here, that's for sure. So he is not going to know what's going to hit him when they pick up this car. Or actually, we got to pick him up in the morning and bring him here. So he is probably going to trip out. Like, seriously, stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this satisfying correction. Seriously. So yes, we are touching the bottom, but that's why we do our pre-rinse or decon, you know, at first. Get all the dirt off the vehicle so we don't transfer it anywhere. But we still, even though we do that, we always work from the top down. So, but the vehicle is, you know, pretty much clean now. It's okay to do that. There is a lot of wax, like I showed you in the beginning. I see it everywhere, just stuck to the paint job. So, a mobile guy, you know, probably came out and threw some, you know, did a $125 detail and threw some hand wax on here and didn't get it all wiped off, which is crazy. You know, it's like huge lines, like this thick, as you saw in the hood, and you'll see it more inside because I'm betting money that it's not going to come off during this wash process. It normally never does. It has to be polished off, or even with rapid remover sometimes it's stuck that bad. So that just goes to show you how damaging, you know, a super cheap detail is. So let me go ahead and rinse it off. Let me get the front bumper, the rest of it. We're going to go ahead and rinse her off, foam it back up, and get the clay lube and start clay barring. Alright, so I'm going to do my best to hold the camera. We got our clay, synthetic clay in there. I'm going to spray the clay lube already directly on the surface. And then we'll get to clay barring this thing. We just call it clay barring, but this is synthetic clay. She's definitely extremely rough. That's just grabbing the pad. Just wants to fling right off the car. So, you know, this to me is my favorite part and 100% necessary. And if you see me going over this, it doesn't always have to have clay lube. That's what the step's for. But my favorite part is this, because when the customer comes, or you, if you're watching the video and you're going to book with us, they rub their hand on the paint and they're never going to feel anything that smooth. It's ridiculous. Not only is it for that, but just the simple fact of giving our customers what they pay for. You know, anything you do to a vehicle needs to be clay barred, period. If you're throwing some spray wax on there, the vehicle should already be clay barred and detailed before you do that. And I don't recommend spray wax, but you get the idea. Even something as simple as that, and all these, you know, so-called coatings, they're really just ceramic detail sprays. The people that actually say that are being truthful. The ceramic detail sprays, even that stuff, you know, it's always recommended you clay. If the company tells you you don't have to clay, they definitely don't know what they're talking about. Even PNS bead maker, it's like $9 for a 16-ounce bottle. Oh, I mean, amazing stuff for what it is. Seriously. But even that says to clay before you apply. So that should tell you something. Cheap little detail spray that helps the water bead even says to clay the paint. So that's why we always clay. You know, there's a lot of contaminants that just sit in your clear coat and all over the car that you can't see. So this thing is going to be buttery smooth. So you guys kind of get the idea. I really got to hustle on this thing. We got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. So once again, our synthetic clay over the paint and glass. Let's knock it out and get her inside. So got the sensitive areas all masked off. There's no rubber under this trim. I will be putting some tape in there though, but pretty much everything we're going to work on for right now is taped off. So what I want to show is there's this big old, if you're, you know, a detailer and, you know, you watch videos, there's this big thing, I see it all the time on our Ceramic Pro thing about, oh, GM paint. Everybody cries about GM black paint. It really is the issue, supposedly. I just want to show, we use Americana Global. Now, we do switch some things up for some cases. Something, I have a little trick up my sleeve every once in a while. If a paint job is being extremely difficult to wipe anything off, there's something I do switch out. But for the most part, our first go-to stage is the 1500, the microfiber cutting pad from Meguiar's, and, you know, there's some other stuff that we do, but look at the results on the first pass. So you can literally see that perfect, you know, that is about a 2x2 area, maybe just a slight bit bigger. I mean, barely, but But look at the absolute difference in clarity. I mean, literally 90, I would say 98%, 97% of the, you know, defects that can be removed through polishing, meaning swirl marks and stuff, not like deep scratches or pits or rock chips, you know, pretty much all of it's gone already. You know, there's going to be some slight, you know, real slight hazing, barely. That's where that jeweling polish comes into stage. Any gloss black does that. It's very hard to see in person, but the camera does kind of pick up that. But I mean, look at that. Look at the absolute difference. You come down through, and then boom. I mean, it's hard to get that light to carry over, but you get the idea. So I would say we're pretty much GM gloss black specialists. I mean, we've done a lot of GM gloss black. I don't understand what the big problem is. Some paints, yes, are a little difficult. A lot of Porsche blacks are very difficult to do, but look at that right there. You bring your vehicle to us, that's the kind of results we can guarantee. Now, some people would look at a vehicle like this and think it would need a paint job. I believe that this was a, you know, it had some clear bra on it at one point, because it's got like a perfect line going across, and it's actually kind of crooked, whoever did it. It's kind of weird, but you can see the paint, you know, some people would think, man, I need to repaint my car. Well, for not that much money, with a high-end, you know, paint correction specialist, ceramic coatings, this and that and the other, this is the results we can get. And like I said, I just did the first pass, you can see right there, and then wiped it off with the towel, and that was it. Haven't done anything to it, haven't put anything on it. It looks that good already, just with the correct combo. We've been doing that combo for a very long time. So just wanted to show that quick result. That's a, you know, an insane result, especially like right here. This fender is going to be a really nice shot for you guys to kind of check out the difference. But, you know, keep in mind throughout the video, that's what it looks like before, and that's just the first test pass already. So I'm going to keep doing that and show you guys some more clips on it. So can't show all my secrets, but this thing is all buffed out finally. So really long night. It's about 2 in the morning. This thing looks absolutely gorgeous and hasn't been like wiped down with any spray or the sport yet. Literally just wiped it down with our 600 GSM towel to remove the jeweling polish. So, you know, there's gonna be a couple little specks of dust and things like that in there, as you can see, but it is definitely a humongous improvement. This, you know, this whole car, there's a lot of different things. The front bumper, there's been some things I think that have been like spray painted or blended into, so very difficult canvas to work with, but we really made this thing pop. It's, you know, as good as it's gonna get for sure. I mean, there's definitely some deep scratches in some different areas, but you know, it being ran through a car wash, that's, you know, what you're gonna expect. But look at that, look how clear everything is. Nice and clean. So this thing is gonna look like $1 million outside. And like I said, gotta wipe the whole car down, so what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take some of our American Detailer Garage Wipeout, which is like a waterless wash basically, or detail spray. I mean, it's everything in one. We're gonna spray the whole vehicle down and wipe it all down, clean everything up, and then we will wipe the vehicle all down with our Ceramic Pro Sport. So on the paint and glass, the wheels we're going to treat a little bit differently. But overall, she's looking really good. So let's go ahead and get it wiped down, get this little residual dust and stuff off of here, and then I'll show you us applying the Sport. Kind of see, you know, how slick everything gets. So you got to wipe a couple more things off. How slick the paint will get, but man, what a huge transformation. I think this customer is going to be extremely happy because, as you saw, I mean, it almost looked like it needed a paint job. So definitely brought her back to like brand new condition. Here's the Ceramic Pro Sport. So like I said, it's our annual inspection spray. So some people kind of take that in the wrong way, like, oh, does it only last a year? No. To upkeep the warranty, it is just a courtesy, and a thing required by Ceramic Pro to your vehicle to come to an installer just one time out of 12 months. And, we wash the vehicle, make sure everything looks good, and then just wipe it down with that. It just keeps everything, performing like it should from day one. That's not to say that it doesn't. It's just, it's like that extra little guarantee. You always need some kind of maintenance. You can't drive your vehicle for 10 years without changing the oil, if you get what I'm saying. It's the same idea. So that stuff works really well. We've had vehicles that, haven't been able to come in for a few years to get the annual inspection, and they perform just fine. So just want to show putting it on here. So basically a towel gets wet or damp like this one, and then you spray the Ceramic Pro Sport on here and then apply it like so. So a lot different process than, of course, the normal coatings, obviously. So I'm going to put this on here, and then I just want to show doing it. Normally I have the towel right in my other hand, and you take the other towel and level it off, and the surface gets extremely slick, a little bit more glossy. It just comes out amazing. So levels off pretty easy, you can see there. The reason for the water is it's meant to be put on that way to dilute it down to the strength it needs to be to go on the paint correctly. You can't just spray it on and wipe it down. It would leave streaks everywhere. So that dampness breaks down the sport to where it can be applied to the paint with ease, just like that. So boom, she's looking good. Going to continue that process. Same process on the rest of the vehicle. The glass, so I'll show you the glass in a moment. I'm going to continue that process on the rest of the CTSV. Engine bay is looking really good. It wasn't too crazy, but it was pretty dusty. I'm sure that this work got done pretty recently, not too long ago, so it really wasn't that bad, just normal, dust and things like that. So what we did is, we covered what needed to be covered during the wash process. You didn't see that, but we did rinse down the engine bay. We always air dry everything before starting the vehicle up, make sure there's no water. With pressure washing, you really don't have to worry about too much, because it's it's high pressure and low volume of water. It's different if you shove in a garden hose all over your motor, you may have a problem. But we've done hundreds and hundreds and never had an issue, thankfully. But cleaned her all up, dressed the hoses and all the plastic, so that way when he pops his hood, because he's going to an event to show people, this thing is going to look beautiful. That was the shop that did it here in Temecula, Red Barn Racing. Nice and clean. So it's got a upper, lower, obviously injectors, E85, underhood tank, ice tank, ZL1 lid, air raid. He did that custom little air box. I think it's got a DSX auxiliary, obviously. It's got a cam. I think he said the heads were gone through. Mighty Mouse catch can, I think that's the mild. So pretty much the setup that we want to do on the CTSV. I have everything. This does not have a ported blower. I am doing a ported blower and a Granatelli 102mm throttle body and a 5-inch RPM intake. Only difference with my setup that we're going to be doing is I don't have headers, cam, or lower. I'm really contemplating getting that, especially after driving this car. It is absolutely wicked, and we'll get a cold start this morning for you. So she should fire right up though, even though it's on E. They normally don't have a problem unless it's extremely cold. It takes, maybe 1 or 2 tries to get her to fire up, but it's pretty hot here already this morning. But engine bay looking beautiful. Let's pop in the interior. We'll get a final look around momentarily. I still got to wipe the rest of the paint job down and do the glass, but interior vacuumed it all up, wiped it down with a SO2 spray sealant. That's just kind of my preferred thing to go to for interiors. Cleaned all the door jambs. They just had like wax and stuff stuck in them. And of course, a little bit of compound dust from what we did. It's just normal. Looking good. So definitely brought this CTSV back to life. She really needed it for sure. And you can see Paint job looks absolutely gorgeous. 1000% difference from before. It locks automatically. Was trying to take the wheels off. Whoever tightened the lugs on the front, like really over tightened them on the one side, because I wanted to take the wheels off. We normally don't do that in this type of detail, but we were able to stick our hand in there. But for some reason, they're kind of lodged in there pretty deep too. The lugs, I mean, really didn't want to budge. I'm sure if I had somebody out here to press their foot on the brake and use a breaker bar, we could crack them, you know, and get them open real quick. But for some reason, this side, it was being a pain. So I just decided, you know what, we didn't really have time to do that anyway. So, but we did stick our hand all in there and clean best we could with the SO2 spray sealant. There's a specific brand we like to use when it comes to this type of detail. So got these wheels all cleaned up, this kind of matte titanium look, and clean the calipers all up so they look beautiful. We got to put one more layer of tire dressing on. They really soaked up all the tire dressing very quickly. Everything's looking really good. And then we got to polish the tips, wipe it down with some wipe out and clean the glass, and she'll be ready to go back to the customer. We put this carbon fiber license plate frame on for him. I had an extra one. It was just the frame on there, so that matches his carbon fiber deck lid spoiler really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe her down, clean the exhaust tips up, and we'll get a final walk around, a little cold start, and that'll be the wrap up of bringing this CTSV back to life. Alright, so here is the finished product on the CTSV. This thing is definitely brought back to like new condition. This is absolutely the best condition possible that we could have brought it back to. I think he's really going to trip out on how well this black paint came out. It is insane of how destroyed it was and how good it looks now. The wheels, everything's dialed in, looking really good. Cleaned up the exhaust tips. There's a lot of defects in the paint everywhere with some things that have been repainted or chipped away, but I mean, this thing is literally as good as it's going to get for right now. That is for sure. Tips, we cleaned them all out, some steel wool and some polish, the best they could come out, but this thing is going to look beautiful going down the road. It was such a disservice to, you know, this is such a bad CTSV that's all built, and you know, it rolling down the road looking that scratched up. It's like, man, now he'll be very happy to fire this thing up, wipe it down, go to the shows, go to Irwindale, go racing. Definitely so much better feeling getting in your ride knowing that it's all paint corrected up and ceramic coated. I mean, this is just a quick entry level, you know, maintenance spray. It's not really a full ceramic pro package, but it still does an amazing job for what it is. It's going to give you kind of a taste of what, you know, the packages can do for you. Ease of maintenance, gloss, and cleaning. I mean, it's about a quarter of what a true package can really look like and perform like. So, and this interior is literally a replica of my black diamond interior. Beautiful. It's got the Recaros, everything, so that's all cleaned up and protected. Everything's dialed in. Wheels, I think he's going to be really excited with this thing. So we're going to go ahead and drive down and go pick the customer up, bring him back, see what he thinks. So if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got so much more coming on those vehicles you see over there, customers' vehicles. Make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, tell us what you think about this CTSV. Was it satisfying to see this transformation? I think it was. So with that, we will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day, and we are out.